Okay, so we're staring down our layout here inside Screenfly, and I'm kind of realizing the amount of work we have ahead of ourselves. It's not necessarily difficult, and I hope to make it educational for you, but there's a lot to get to here. So the first thing that I want to do is I try to take an outermost approach. In other words, work on the outermost elements and then work towards the center, and also sort of a top-down approach. So we'll be going after the header and the contents of the header shortly. The first thing that I want to do, though, is I want to go after the container class, which is controlling all of the container divs that you and I had set up throughout the entire layout earlier on. And as a matter of fact, what I want to do with this guy is actually pretty simple and straightforward. Go and find, now you have to be careful here when we're working with multiple media queries, go and find your container class rule, but make sure it's the instance of that class rule inside the medium resolution media query. Once again, another reason for throwing these comments in. So when we're working with a responsive layout, it can get tricky to keep track of which rule specifically it is that you want. So just make sure you're in the right spot here. Container class rule for the medium resolution display. Okay? So what do I want to do with this guy? Well, I want to set a width on this guy of 100%. So what that means is that this container is going to occupy 100% of the available device width. Okay? Something else that I'm going to do, and this is completely optional, is, as you may have guessed, I'm kind of fond of using temporary background colors just so I can see what's happening inside my layout. Sometimes using solid background colors is a little loud and it can be kind of distracting. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go background full colon space, as you've seen here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify RGB values, so RGB. But as a matter of fact, I'm going to go RGB A for alpha or opacity. If you've never seen this before, we're going to throw in a pair of regular brackets, and then inside the brackets, I'm going to specify 0 for the red value, 255 for the green value, and 0 for the blue value, of course separated by commas. And then one more comma, and I'm going to say 0.2. That's a percentage, so 20%. So that's going to give me 20% solid green on my containers, but only if they appear inside the medium resolution display. I hope you caught all that. Let's go and check this out. I'm going to go and save up my work here and head back to my browser. Still looking at Screenfly here. You can hit your refresh, or you can tap your F key, as a matter of fact, on your keyboard. And now I get something like this. I get all these green blocks, all these light green containers throughout the entire layout there. That's the container. And I want to be able to see the container. But again, it's optional. You don't have to do this. I just like to see exactly what I'm working with. For instance, inside the header, I can clearly see exactly where the container is, where it begins, where it ends, and exactly what's happening there. Okay? All right, good stuff. Now, one other thing that I want to do here, just really quickly, I noticed inside Screenfly, or even inside of our regular old browser when we're using our browser to preview our work here, whether it's the high res or the medium res or the low res, is we're going to get the WordPress admin bar appearing right across the top of the layout. We get that, of course, inside Screenfly as well, which you may or may not want. I have no idea, but I'm kind of finding it distracting here because I want to focus only on my layout. So give me a moment here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to head into my WordPress backend and then all the way down to users and then your profile. Okay. And inside the admin profile, I'm going to uncheck show toolbar when viewing the site. That guy right there. Okay. And then, of course, all the way down towards the bottom and update profile. And then now when I'm previewing my layout inside either the regular old browser, when I refresh, toolbar's gone, or inside Screenfly, when I refresh, toolbar's gone. So I find it distracting. Again, optional for yourself. With the toolbar now out of the way, and with the container set up with the width and that temporary background color, we can now get to work. And as I say, I'm going to take a top-down approach, starting with the header at the top of the layout and also working my way inwards on the header as well. So let's go and see how we're going to adjust our header and the header contents for the tablet device.